Welcome to First Garden, New Gardener. I'm Joy Baird. Well, if you're wanting to construct a raised bed, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can purchase a raised bed from rootmaker.com, or you can construct a raised bed out of lumber you get from your big box store, treated or untreated. It's up to you. Or if you've got some pallets laying around, you can construct a pallet raised bed. Now, there's many different ways in which one can do this. There's very elaborate ways where they take all the boards off and sand them down and nail them back up. That's fine. It gets a lot of views on YouTube. However, I'm looking at the most effective and time-saving methods possible. So we're going to mimic this raised bed with these pallets with the one that we're going to construct. It takes about 3 pallets. They can be any, ours is 40 inches wide, which is a standard in most instances, and about 47 inches long. This one's a little damaged. Some of these were compost perimeters for a while, so we're going to piece together our pallet raised bed. So, determines how high you want it. Ours, we're going to go about 10 inches or close to there being 10 inches. So if we look at that, you go 10 inches is middle of this board here. Well, I'm not going to cut down the center. I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to take and I will cut through these 3 supporting beams. And that'll be 1. And then I'll go and measure off here. This one, it takes it 10 as the center here. So I'll see if I can piece together down here. I can cut this, and this is 11 inches. So there's 2 pieces. And then I can use these boards here to piece together the slats, the spacing so the soil doesn't fall through. So let me get you going on that. And you can use a radial arm saw, you can use a hand saw, any type of saw. I'm using this because you may not have a radial arm saw. And I want to show that it can be done with any type of device. So all we're going to do is get in here and just start cutting. Okay, so that is one side of the pallet raised bed. Now the gaps are small enough, I may be able to fit some twigs or limbs in there just to hold that off. Now, width-wise, we're 40 inches because that's the size of the pallet here. 40 inches. Now, you could double it up. 48 is 4 foot, which is a typical width of a bed because you can reach 2 foot on both sides. Going 40 inches because I don't have to do any additional cuts. This is just kind of a puzzle piece, snap it together type of thing. Lengthwise, you can go as long as you want, but keep it under 4 foot wide. So that's one side there, end cap, whatever. So in order to mimic this bed, that's one piece. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pieces. And I'm just going to do the same thing until I get all the pieces cut apart. And then we'll start talking about how we fill in the slats and put it all together. Okay, so I've got all the pieces cut. And now I'm piecing them together. And then talked about the gaps here that we need to fill in. This does not have to be all pretty and shiny because this is going to be covered by dirt. So this is just a flat or a piece from another pallet there. It kind of fits. That nail bent, so we'll just, it doesn't have to fit in the slat exactly, so we're gonna and even though it's puckered out like that, it still will function because the soil will push against it. So I've got one more to put together there. Now the way I'm fastening everything together, simply taking nails. I got 3-inch nails and I'm just putting 1 through here, 1 at an angle there, and that seems to work well, especially on this one that we did last year. We simply did a 1 nail thing. Now if you didn't have nails or you didn't want to go that route, screws would work better because you're not pounding and shaking things loose. The other thing in which you could do is you could take wooden stakes and pound them in the ground and then cut them flush there, and then that friction, the force of the soil would keep the edge of the bed from moving. So that's another option if you wanted to go that way. So I'm going to put all this together, and then we'll talk about filling it with soil, compost, potting soil, raised bed mix. Okay, so the challenging part of constructing a pallet raised bed is the quality of pallets in which you're using. You want to make sure you have pallets that's not been treated with harmful chemicals. There are different markings on the pallets based on your region and country of what is safe and what is not. Secondly, the more clean-cut, pristine pallets you have, the better everything's going to piece together. We have old pallets that we've used for multiple projects, so everything is not fitting together precisely. However, that's not the ultimate goal here. We're looking for a low-cost, effective method in order to create a raised bed. For example, right here, this corner here, keep getting a hard time getting these to connect, so I put a stake there to keep that from backing out whenever the soil gets filled. Now, we're all different sizes here, but it's ultimately about 10 inches high. You can go 8 inches as a minimum, you can go 14, 20 inches, whatever you want. You can even set the pallets up and do all different kind of fun things. So now that it's time to put the soil in, you can use compost, raised bed mix. You can even, if you wanted to go the costly route of potting soil, you could do that. This bed is 40 inches wide by 62 inches long. It's going to take about 3/4 of a yard of soil. A yard of soil is 27 cubic feet. 27 cubic feet, most bags are 1 cubic foot in volume at the store. Pick a round number, that's $10 a bag. You're looking at about $200 to fill this if you went that route. If you go the bulk route, like we have a lot of bulk material stored up there from previous delivery, that's the way to go. We purchased all that for the cost of what 1 cubic yard of potting soil in bags would cost if you want a $10 route. So what do we want to do? We want to put something in the bottom. Some people say don't worry about it. We've done it. We've put cardboard in the bottom, and we've had weeds grow through the cardboard. We've put no cardboard in the bottom. We've had weeds go through the 10 inches of compost. What the premise of the cardboard in the bottom is supposed to do is to help slow down and smother out those invasive weeds and stress them out to the point where they just quit trying and they die. So we're going to go about 2 layers here. We have invasive creeping Charlie. We have thistles that are invasive. So it's a challenge all the way through. So we're going to get the cardboard down. I'll get more cardboard. And then if you have a lot of shredded paper, you can put a little bit of that down too before you put your soil on top, just to get rid of it. And then that'll all break down. The cardboard, if you have a lot of tape on it, you can try to remove the tape as much as possible. However, everything's going to break down in about a year growth cycle, a growth season, and eventually you'll find that tape and you can get rid of it that way. So I'm going to get the rest of this cardboard down, then we'll bring the soil in and top the bed off. Okay, so we finished filling the bed up, took a handful of wheelbarrows full, and it will settle quite a bit. I mean, it'll go down 2 or 3 inches, so you want to keep that in mind, just because that's the process of it. So making a raised bed out of pallets is an affordable, easy way to get a garden up and going if you've got some free pallets laying around your place.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.